Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson, title versus career, the AEW World Title.
You literally just said it. You said at the end of Dynamite, you could feel the excitement, the anticipation, the levels that they've done to build this, to do this career versus title match. We always do love a career versus titles match. What a way to close the show out than 50-odd thousand people bawling their eyes out that Bryan Danielson, has had to retire. I think ultimately this is the send-off show for him. Like, he goes out on the biggest stage. Spoiler with the prediction, I'm going to go with Swerve. He's going to go out on the biggest stage. It's going to be his final match. We've known for years that he wants to go out on his own term. Do you know what I mean? And he obviously loves wrestling and he loves the AEW styles, which is why he went there. But doing it this way, it's his chance to, like you said, go out on his terms. Biggest stage, biggest show of the year. It's essentially going out main event of WrestleMania. It's kind of like when we did Flair versus Michaels, when we did. I'm trying to think of that's literally the first one that comes to my mind. Imagine if you'd have done Flair versus Michaels as the main event at WrestleMania. This is essentially what they tried to build it like. And I honestly think that it will be. I reckon this will be the last time we see Bryan Danielson in a competitive in-ring. Like you've obviously got All Out, and you've got the Washington show coming up. But he doesn't ultimately have to wrestle. And as much as it probably would be nice for him to go out in a show in his home state, you have to sign off at the biggest show of the year, really, didn't you?
Potentially, yeah. Potentially. The thing is when he's talking and he's talking to that crowd and you felt everything in that moment, it is almost like that perfect thing of like, I feel like I've seen the final hurrah chant from Bryan. It's perfectly done if he then goes into the show and then loses and goes away, because that last feeling before he went into a show is like, damn, like, he's the best wrestler in the world. He has been for the last 20 years. You believed it, you felt it. You know what I mean? It was I don't know if you top that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you top that. So in a way, I feel like
you've got to try and top the Miracle on Bourbon Street. Essentially, is what they have to try and do. Now, him winning, I don't think is a bigger moment than him losing.
I like that. It's a really good point. That's a strong argument. That's hard to back against. It probably is more impactful if he loses here than if he wins. However, the thing that also strengthens your argument, just quickly before it strengthens your argument.
Go for it.
He has also said that when he retires, he wants to put over another Washington-based wrestler. He wants to pass the baton of like, I am a Washington-based wrestler. I'm passing over to the next one. He sees that in Swerve Strickland, so he probably will pass the baton to Swerve Strickland when he goes. The question is if it's going to be this Sunday. But before I give my spin and my prediction, NXSteve, I can see you were very excited there. Share with me what you got.
I was just going to make another reference as well. I mean, I presume you've seen the Rocky films, yes? And you've seen Rocky Balboa. Have you seen Balboa, the last one, right? Number 5, essentially.
No.
The one where so essentially it's the same kind of story we've got here. You've got an old boxer in Rocky Balboa who is in his 50, 60 years old, who's then brought back out to do essentially a charity match against the young guy who's the current world champion. This essentially is Rocky Balboa. Now, the guys that made the film did the right thing. They filmed 2 endings, one where Rocky wins and one where Rocky loses. And what do you think they did? They did the right decision and had Rocky lose because it was the right decision for the film. So having Bryan Danielson, I keep calling Bryan Danielson lose is the right decision for the story, for the show, for the moment, for everything.
Fair play. Your arguments are strong and they are very good. And they have got persuasive ability. However, I'm going for Bryan Danielson to win. I think it's going to happen because I do think it's AEW's version of the Miracle on Bourbon Street. And I do think we're going to have some real close near falls in this match. There's going to be moments you're going to believe that Danielson's done. I actually am going to call this, outside of Cody and Roman, like that's your sports entertainment match of the year. This here is going to be match of the year. I think it's going to be hard to top this because Swerve's been an unbelievable tear. Likes against Ospreay and stuff he's done this year. Danielson, we know if he's going to go out as well, he'll make sure it's going to be one of the best matches he's ever done. I personally feel that there is also what would back your argument. If Hangman wins, then obviously, surely it would be Swerve Hangman again all out for the championship. However, I think it could be a case of Hangman wanting to beat Danielson because Danielson did what he couldn't. Therefore, Hangman will want to take the title from Danielson because he's beaten Danielson before to try and stop Swerve ever getting the title again. I think that's what's going to be Hangman's little kicker for the next couple of weeks. I think then Danielson will overcome Hangman Adam Page. And as we mentioned, that show that will be in Washington, that'll be the full calendar year of when Danielson says that he's going to stop as a full-time wrestler. He may do the full-time retirement, but I think it'll be just as a full-time wrestler, so he can make sporadic appearances when he wants. But I think he will then drop the championship back to Swerve at Wrestle Dream. I think that's where this story and chapter will end.
Don't get me wrong, it's all logical, it's all plausible, it all makes a hell of a sense. But for me, that show is going to be in an arena in Washington in front of 10,000 people, 15, 20,000, whatever it is. I don't know because I don't know the capacity. Having Bryan Danielson go out in his hometown, sure, it'll be nice. But I don't unless you, because what is it? Is it going to be? Is it a Dynamite or is it or is it a pay? It's not a pay per view, is it? It's just a normal Dynamite. Oh, is it a pay per view? Okay, then fair enough. I might be wrong then. I was going to say if it was just a normal Dynamite, then definitely no way. You've swayed me slightly, but I'm still going for the moment of Daniel Bryan losing. Bryan Danielson, God damn it.
It's so easy just to swap them round. That's the problem. Yeah. The thing is,
it's close better as Daniel Bryan. I got it wrong way around, and I'm still trying to get it wrong.
All I'm going to say is in reply to what you said there. Yes, so All In may be the biggest show of the year, technically of their biggest gate of the year as well, because that's technically what it'll be. I don't think they'll top 50,000 this year on an American stage. They will probably do next year with Dallas, but there's no place like home. And Washington's his place. If he wants to put over a Washington-based wrestler on the way out, to do it in Washington will feel like a bigger deal to him. So I think that Danielson's always been happy to wrestle in front of 50 people, 4 people, 40,000 people. He loves to wrestle. So that's going to be my final argument on it. But now, it's up to you. We've had our say. In fact, we've almost debated on this last one, which has been really fun because the fact is usually we share a lot of predictions a lot of the time. We're passionate on the opposite end of the spectrum for this one. So that's pretty fun to see. So let's see what you've all got to see, what you've all got to say, and what you've all predicted. Apparently, Darby Allin is challenging for the AEW World Championship at Grand Slam later this year. I mean, to be fair, obviously it makes sense then to do Swerve again, but they have done the match multiple times before. Danielson versus Darby All In, or Darby Allin, would actually would be fresh and new.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but you're not going to sway me. Swerve's still winning.
They're not going to sway. But Swerve and Darby do have history, so that's why he thinks that Swerve retains the championship here. Doesn't matter about Wrestle Dream. He's thinking about the next stop, which, to be fair, does make a lot of sense. Tepper says, we need Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness at Wrestle Dream. We certainly do. Nigel McGuinness will not drop the insults to Bryan Danielson at any opportunity, even on an interview with Chris Van Vliet, which was just hilarious to listen to. Highly recommend that if people haven't listened to it yet. Bryan Danielson must come out to the final countdown for his final match. He certainly must come out to the final countdown, as it's in the tagline. Tony Khan likes to get the big ones for this show as well. So yeah, I think he will come out to that song here. Jason McCall says, I'm falling for it. It's a toss-up, but give me Danielson. I think it'd be fun for him to have a main event of Wrestle Dream and lose. Plus, he's never won a title in AEW. Whole run there, 3 years. He's not won the title at all. I don't know, it just feels like, you know, that last chance to learn, that last match to do it, and then he does it. For me, would be awesome. But again, for NXT, I'm sure it'll be that last match, that last chance to do it, and he fails, and it just hurts that little bit more. It feels very Tommy Dreamer, ECW-esque.
My argument is he's never needed the title. He's always been a top tier, top of the card, main event guy, and he's been like that consistently since Miracle on Bourbon Street. He's just like, do you know what I mean? That was his cementing his place at the top of the card, and he's been there ever since. And he's never needed titles. Never. Do you know what I mean? He's a guy that could just go on and have great wrestling matches. And still, don't get me wrong. There's like a 3% chance in the back of my brain now that he is winning, but I'm still.
For me, it's about 55-45. Like I feel like it's a close one. I can see both scenarios playing out, but I'm going with heart over head on this one, and I'm going with the Washington theme. I would like to see Danielson versus Moxley before it's all said and done as well, but that's just a personal preference because we never got an actual winner when they had their feud at Revolution a few years ago that led to the Blackpool Combat Club and William Regal debuting as well. Temple says, kill shot for the win, Nigel DeCoste, Danielson. No, imagine if it was Nigel McGuinness. Do you know what? I think it's an awesome shout because even though the fact is, like, I was saying about the emotion stuff in this match, if Nigel McGuinness is on commentary and he's like seeing the idea that Danielson could win and he can't stand it, he needs to see Danielson like not be around anymore. Could Nigel actually get involved in this match? Because he wasn't part of Dynamite this past week.
It is very possible, but sorry, my brain is still going back to this, right? What if Swerve beating Bryan Danielson, got it right that time, is Swerve's face turn? If you imagine they come out on Dynamite next week and like there's a whole thing between the two of them in the ring, this could be Swerve's face turn. The 3% is getting smaller now.
All I'm going to say is that he's gone face and heel more times than the Big Show this year. I don't know if I need another turn at this moment. I'm pleased he's gone back heel for the minute, but it does make things interesting for Hangman Adam Page in the meantime, what they'll do with that. See, this says that John Cena isn't having his last match of WrestleMania 41, so it's possible Bryan Danielson could go a bit longer. That's a good point as well, an interesting argument. Jason McCall says, yes. I'm with you, Steve. He's not clarified which Steve, but he has to Danielson win above. So I think he's going over here, to be fair. I think he's all in on my prediction there for you. But hey, Daniel Bryanson?
No, Bryan Daniel.
We've got Derek Ip. It's been a while since I've seen you on these streams. Hope you're doing well. It says, hope Bryan Danielson wins whole locker room and the BCC comes out to celebrate with Birdie and Bree. That would be a very emotional moment to end the show. So I'm with you. I hope it happens as well.
It'll be more emotional if he's retiring and Bree and Birdie come out. It'll be more.
Last comment and we'll wrap it up. We're not meeting on the middle on this one. Nigel McGuinness was on Dynamite. He hosted the stare down between Danielson and Strickland. Absolutely true indeed. And we've been hosting your All In predictions live stream as well. Hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button, share with a friend, and subscribe as well. Thank you to everyone for the live comments as well. NXSteve, thank you for joining.
Dude, always a pleasure. Do you know what? This is really fun tonight. Like, I didn't think I'd be so passionate about it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, always fun.
Drop your predictions now in the comments below. I'd love to hear who you think is winning at All In, and I will reply to every comment. Thanks for watching, everybody. Look after yourselves and each other. And unfortunately, we're not on the way to Wembley, but we will be back here on YouTube tomorrow. So we'll see you then. All the best. Thanks for watching. Take care.